It's the SNL Hall of Fame podcast with your host, Jamie Dew, Chief Librarian Thomas Senna, and featuring Matt Ardill. And now, curator of the hall, Jamie Dew.
Thank you so much, Doug DeNance. It is a thrill to be here in the SNL Hall of Fame, deep in the summertime. This is a place that I don't normally frequent in the summertime. I'm usually in my palatial summer home in, I don't know. I'm just making that up. I don't have a palatial summer home. Just in case you were thinking that this podcast game makes one rich, you are wrong. Now, before you enter the Hall of Fame, I would ask that you please wipe your feet. This is a slightly different look. We are releasing some summer episodes this year, and these summer episodes focus on the cast members that were recently inducted into the Hall of Fame. This is your chance to hear their original nomination episode. Now, this nomination episode that you're going to listen to is for Maya Rudolph, who made it into the Hall of Fame this year with 84.55% of the ballot, which is an enormous leap from the 58% that she had the year before. Pardon me, the 58, that she had the year before. And the 58 that she had the year before that, and the 57 she had the year before that, and the 47 she had in her first year. So really, she only went up 11 points in 4 years and then suddenly just kills it in her last year of eligibility with 84.55% of the ballot, as I mentioned. Now, this episode features Liz Shannon Miller, who was an early regular on this program. The way I used to do it is I used to seek out guests for the show, and then I would have them do 2 or 3 episodes so that I could mix it up throughout the season. The original iteration of the SNL Hall of Fame had a musical guest, a host, and a cast member on every episode. The episodes were much shorter, they were less robust, and frankly, I am just an okay conversationalist with these guests, or interviewer, as you may more often call it, but we like to refer to them as conversations. Thomas has taken over and has done a fabulous job in season 2, and we introduced Matt in season 2 as well. That's also when we went to a shorter format, 15 episodes or 16 episodes rather than was it almost 30 nominees the first year? It might have been. I'm not 100% certain. At any rate, Maya Rudolph deserves a place in the SNL Hall of Fame as she has been elected at this point. So that is tough to debate. But in case you want to hear a debate, the SNL Hall of Fame Water Cooler podcast will be starting when it'll be the first Thursday that we start the SNL Hall of Fame. The date eludes me at the moment. I believe it is August the 14th. Is the first day for the SNL Water Cooler podcast, the SNL Hall of Fame Water Cooler podcast. And on that, we will have a panel of guests that discuss, debate, and dissect the SNL Hall of Fame and recent episodes of the program. Looking for Hall of Fame worthy performances, speculating on current cast members, where they may end up, that sort of thing. So there's that. Let's go right now to myself with the old theme song and Liz Shannon Miller discussing Maya Rudolph on the SNL Hall of Fame podcast.
Live from wherever you happen to be, it's the SNL Hall of Fame podcast. And now, here's your host, curator of the hall, Jamie Dew.
When I was younger, I would go to my boss's house. I worked in a little restaurant, and I would go to my boss's house, and we would light a big bonfire in the backyard. And the bonfire would be so big that the tree above it would start releasing its maple keys because the maple keys couldn't hold on any longer. And you would look up, and there would just be, smoke and these maple keys just falling in droves. And I think of that every time I think of those, every time I hear those bells, I think of, the twinkling sound representing those maple keys falling. And it's just lovely. It's just lovely. And I want to welcome you to Story Time with Jamie Dew. Welcome to the SNL Hall of Fame. It's my pleasure to invite you in. But before I do, I would ask that you wipe your feet to prevent soiling of this very sacred area here in the main rotunda of the SNL Hall of Fame. If you look over there, you can see where the displays will be. You can, look to your right and you'll see where the plaques will be. It's all going to be just wonderful. So there's that. We are here yet again. This is week number 18. So that means we have 18 nominees on the ballot after this episode. That means there's only 12 left. There'll be 30 names on the ballot in total when the time comes to vote on April 25th. I got to tell you, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And one of the things we are going to do is we're going to do a couple episodes in early May where we invite some notable SNL media to cast their ballots and see what they come up with. I'm really excited about doing that. So there's that. I'm also really excited about today's show. Today's show, we're going to be talking about the very versatile and wonderful Maya Rudolph. I am joined by senior entertainment editor at Consequence, Liz Shannon Miller. This is her second time joining us. Earlier, she nominated Lily Tomlin in the host category, and now she is going to take care of adding Maya Rudolph to the cast category. So some really strong candidates just from Liz Shannon Miller. Not to mention all the other great guests we've had on delivering their nominees and building a case for their candidates. So there's that. I got to tell you that Maya Rudolph was one of those actors who, at the time, I appreciated, but I didn't love, and she. There's a whole era of SNLers that really had to grow on me. And she was one that had to grow on me. But once she grew on me and once I got it, it was like, oh yeah, this is a really, really talented actor and comedian. And seems to be very well liked. Seems to be a friend of the show. I mean, you've got the Kamala Harris reoccurring bit from last year. We haven't seen her this year, but that doesn't mean that they don't have it behind glass ready for emergency if they need to. Anyway, that's my take on Ms. Rudolph. Let's hear from senior entertainment writer at Consequence, Liz Shannon Miller, and see what she has to say about Maya Rudolph and the SNL Hall of Fame. I am with Liz Shannon Miller, and we are talking about Saturday Night Live. In particular, we are talking about a cast member who is part of, I guess, like a triumvirate of really strong female cast members in an era of really strong female cast members. I'm talking in this case about Maya Rudolph, and the other two members that I was talking about were Amy Poehler and Tina Fey, in case you're wondering. Liz, talk to me a little bit about Maya Rudolph and why she belongs in the SNL Hall of Fame.
Well, and I wish I had the quote directly in front of me, but I've read Bossy Pants and the Tina Fey's memoir about, her life, especially working at SNL, a number of times. And the thing that always really stands out to me is the way she writes about Maya Rudolph, and just the way in which Maya Rudolph was able to transform herself into all these different characters across her run, and not just, incredible impressions, but also just incredible original characters. And it's something that's definitely stood out to me over the years. And it's something, even in her work after leaving SNL, really is a force, is the fact that she is the epitome of a perfect sketch comedian. She can do pretty much everything. It's very annoying, in fact, how good she is at just doing everything. And I think what also speaks to her as a truly great comedian is the fact that she makes everyone around her better. And it's, I think, very telling that a lot of her, best sketches tend to be sketches in which she's partnered with somebody else. And it's just like that team up, whether it be with Fred Armisen or Amy Poehler, it just, she just takes her scene partner's energy and she builds upon it, and she brings her own element to it. And it's always something unexpected and delightful. She's so good with Kristen Wiig. She was just one of the few bright points of the recent Golden Globes was her and Keenan doing a little bit as a fake best song nominee couple. I feel like you can't say enough amazing things about Maya Rudolph, and it's just always a pleasure to see her.
Well, she had quite a career on the show. She started in season 25 as a featured player. In fact, she started. Her first episode was the 18th episode of season 25 rather. So she took a little while to become, to show up on the screen. And that was with the John Goodman, Neil Young episode. She became a repertory player in season 27 and stayed on board until season 33, episode 4. That was an episode with Brian Williams and Feist. And then she's come back to host. She was a consummate performer on the show, and she was always a joy to watch. Are there any sketches or performances in particular that stand out for you when you think of her time on SNL?
I mean, her Donatella Versace is like
so great.
Yeah, so great, and also a great, one of those things where it was an impression of somebody who a lot of people may not have known, as well as they might have. Like, Donatella Versace was, of course, a kind of like one of those niche personalities that, if you weren't a huge, fan of fashion, it might have gone over your head, but you still understood why she was funny. And that really played well. And she did tons of other impressions. It's, I think we all beyond breathing a sigh of relief on election night for other reasons. It was, I mean, not to assume anything about your politics, but I personally was like, beyond the fact that she got that we were no longer dealing with that situation, knowing that Maya Rudolph had some work lined up for her in the future was also a delight. And she's a really good Kamala Harris, and she's probably one of the very, very few people who could actually play that, do that impersonation so well. Beyond impressions, I'm blanking on the name of the sketches, but the Coffee Talk Girls.
Bronx, is that Bronx?
Bronx Beat? Bronx Beat. Yes. Yes. Jodie on Bronx Beat. Bronx Beat is one I genuinely love. Like that. Again, another example of her pairing beautifully with another performer. In that case, Amy Poehler. And so, yeah, she's hosting at the end of March as we record this, and I'm very excited to see what she does because I'm 100% sure it'll be lovely.
Oh, it's going to be so fun. I mentioned recently I was on SNL Stats podcast, and I mentioned recently that I wasn't necessarily excited for her to return to hosting because we've seen so much of her, and I feel as though that was taken in a sense that I'm not a fan, but I am a fan. I think she's great. I just think we've seen so much of her. It's literally tough to be excited about somebody that we saw just, 3 months ago. But I think that, given the hosting role, I think we're going to see her do, bust out a few characters outside of Kamala. Mm-hmm. Maybe, a reiteration of Bronx Beat. When she comes back, she tends to bring back her friends, like other people tend to just happen to be in New York and show up on her show. So that should be pretty exciting. She's a draw. I mean, there's something about her on screen that you are drawn to, and she is a draw as well. She's really quite fascinating.
Yeah. In terms of that, like there are, this is an industry where, everyone on the surface, everyone publicly says, oh, we're all best friends and everyone likes each other and so forth and so on. And, but you can usually tell, like, there are some people who are genuinely well liked by everyone because everyone continues to ask them to work together. It continues to want to work with them. It's not if Maya Rudolph wasn't A, incredibly talented, and B, also a pretty nice person, I highly doubt that she would be brought in for cameos on things like Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Right. Yeah, she does tend to show up on a lot of I think of her time on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh yeah.
She did a little run on that. Yeah, she does pop up in things, doesn't she?
Yeah, I mean, I confess I have her Wikipedia page up in front of me now. She was so delightful in The Good Place as Judge Jen.
Oh my gosh, she's such a pivotal part in
and
that.
she's done. I mean, this isn't the SNL connection is there because of John Mulaney. But she, her work on Big Mouth is Emmy nominated for a darn good reason.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, she hasn't like committed to a series regular role in a while, but she has done all of these incredible one-off appearances that really speak to her versatility as a performer, and also just how much people like her and how much she deserves that attention.
Right. Yeah. There's no doubt about that fact. And very well deserved. But I want to go back to her SNL career. I want to go back to specifically her SNL career. And in fact, I just want to clear something up about her departure, because if there's something about her leaving that's a little bit strange, I would say.
I want to say, was 2007, was that the writer's strike?
2008 was the writer's strike.
Right, the first quarter of 2008, right?
No, I do not. I believe it. Actually, let me think. No, I believe that the writer's strike started at the end of 2008 and then stretched in the first quarter of 2009. I'm going to double check that.
I've got it. You're wrong.
No, I want to double check that though, because no, I am wrong. I apologize. It was 2007 to 2008.
So she bowed out right before the writer's strike then. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I wonder if her timing had something to do with that, because she left at a weird time. She left, like I say, November 3rd, 2007. And then the show didn't air again until, I want to say, May of that year. May of 2008, it came back and did a couple episodes, and she wasn't there anymore. But in that time that she was there, she really did get to work with, a great number of cast members. She, worked with, she was at the tail end of like the Chris Kattan and Anna Gasteyer and, that era cast. And then she moved into the Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Andy Samberg, that era cast. So she really got to work with a great number of people, Fred Armisen. And it was neat to see her work with all these different people. Do you have a favorite performer that she worked with?
She got, I think Fred Armisen is kind of the one she's known for having really worked with. It was good. It's like, technically Martin Short doesn't count, but she of course went on later to do, the Maya and Marty show, which despite, and I'm not a huge Martin Short fan for whatever reason, but I thought, I know, I don't understand it either. It's just something about him. But I don't feel like anyone is a bad person for liking Martin Short. I don't know. That's
not be because he's Canadian.
No, it is. No, I like lots of Canadians. They're totally nice. I know. I don't know what it is. Anywho, point is, I honestly think like, Amy Poehler, the Amy Poehler pairings always have a fond place in my heart for sure.
I guess when you say Fred Armisen, I'm immediately thrust into the Prince show.
Oh, yeah.
Her Beyonce to his Prince, which was just hysterical stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Dearly beloved, what's up, y'all? You got spring fever? Well, let me take your temperature. Come on out, Beyonce. Everybody wants to be free, y'all. In the back of my limousine, come on. Come take a ride with me. Join me on the little waterfall. Climb the rainbow tree.
Prince is happy to see everyone, but wants to remind you to turn off all your cell phones. And if you have any hard candy, unwrap it now. It's The Prince Show with co-host Beyonce Knowles.
Welcome to my show. My spidey senses are tingling. Please welcome from the new Spider-Man movie, Tobey Maguire.
Is there mold in here? Because I totally have mold allergies.
Prince thinks there might be some mold growing up on these velvet curtains in here. We're having someone come out and look at it tomorrow.
Now, Toby, I put this question to you. Have you ever spun a web so complex that you became entangled in the very web you wove?
Does anybody have any Benadryl or are these down pillows or is there a cat in here? Because it's definitely more than mold. I'm definitely dealing with a duo or a trio of allergens right now.
Toby, Prince wants to show you his Spider-Man impression.
It's cool. It's cool. It's nice Spidey technique. I did a lot of research watching all these Nature Channel spider specials and... Hey, where'd Prince go?
Prince is deleting 2 months' worth of text messages.
Prince, I just want to say I love what you do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here at 3 a.m. But I gotta say, it is really damp in here and it's making me uncomfortable.
Prince wants you to go back there and sit in that giant cupcake.
Okay, well, just to warn you, I can't have sugar or dairy, so it's got to be quick, but I'll do it.
Prince wants you to stop whining, hop on that cupcake, and hold that cherry.
Some say that justice is blind. If it is, it hasn't seen my next guest. Please welcome Nancy Grace.
Wow, I can't believe I'm here tonight. I am so exhausted between Duke, Dawn, and Danny Lynn. But Prince, I grew up on your music. Back in the 80s, me and my girlfriends, especially Julie, we used to go to a little club called Mardi Gras, and they had free shrimp if you got there before 6. I just want to let y'all know that I used to jump around and sing that Sheena Easton song of yours, You Got the Look. You remember that song? You've got the look. You've got my book. Then you've gooby dooby dooby my book. I don't know the words.
Nancy Grace, all your singing has scared Prince. He has decided to hide.
Prince. Oh, don't be scared. Oh, y'all, I scared Prince. Okay, Prince, come on out and talk to Nancy Grace, because I want to ask you a serious question. Do you think this is the last time we'll ever hear from Howard K. Stern?
Prince was going to answer your question through his guitar as petals fall from the sky.
Prince, seriously, I need a doctor. My hands are starting to swell. Can I get off this now?
You can get off when we start getting down, and we're getting down right now.
Just, him whispering in her ear and the way she spoke. It was, so funny. Such funny stuff. Do you have not a favorite? I hate that I keep using the word favorite. Sorry.
It's okay.
Is there a memorable moment for you, like sketch-wise, that really stands out?
I'm trying to think. There's one that comes to mind where I just remember her really. I think it might have been in one of her Donatella bits, just really preening in front of a fan. Or no, I'm thinking of that. Maybe this is something she did both as Kamala and as Donatella. But I mean, her Beyonce, I think also. Maybe it was her Beyonce. I don't know. Anyways, put Maya Rudolph in front of a fan, and I'm very happy. That's, I think, going to be my answer to that question. Like she works with bits like that. She works with like kind of that suave confidence in a way that it feels, it's honestly kind of inspiring. She's like, I want to be cool like Maya Rudolph, and I will never be cool like Maya Rudolph because it's Maya Rudolph. She's very cool. But
she is cool, right?
But it's aspirational. It's aspirational. Yeah. Every once in a while, I like to think about like her and Paul Thomas Anderson sitting on the couch together, and
what
one of her like. Well, I mean, I just want to know what he thinks of some of the like household cleaner commercials she's done. Like he's just like, yeah, good job, honey. Wait, you really sold that cleansing spray. And I mean, the thing is, of course, even when doing like something relatively silly like a cleaning product commercial, she sells the hell out of it.
What when you were selecting her as a nominee, what sort of criteria do you look for in a cast member, when you get into something as highfalutin as a Hall of Fame selection? Well,
I'm trying to figure out if I should play this like, well, as someone who selects people for the Hall of Fame all the time, like it's just something I do naturally, which is not true at all. I've never, in fact, been asked to pick somebody to be a part of a Hall of Fame of any sort. But that said, I mean, when presented with the curated list of options, her name really stuck out to me for, all the reasons we've already discussed. She's just as someone, like, when she makes a random, award show appearance, or when she hosts SNL, or when I'm watching an old SNL sketch at random and she happens to be a part of the cast, I genuinely feel like what her presence makes it better. And I think it's hard to figure out a better quality for a Hall of Famer than that. And I also it's also important to note she's a person of color and, a woman of color. And that is not the easiest thing to be in the world of comedy, even today. It's something that is a part of her work, but she is also just, an incredible performer.
Yeah, it's strange to say that somebody who, came into the spotlight in the 90s was a pioneer, but like really, I'm stretching my brain here for a minute. She's on a pretty short list, right?
And she's just like, even beyond like her comedy work, she's such a talent. Like, if anyone listening to this has never seen the short-lived Amazon series Forever, another Fred Armisen partnership, but a very different thing than you might expect from Fred Armisen and Maya Rudolph. It's I've never
even heard of it.
Oh, it was a 1-season show. The problem with it is that I can't really describe what it's about, because to do so would kind of ruin the magic of it. I mean, it's essentially like the first episode or two like are predicated on some massive twists, and then from there it's kind of just a really interesting show exploring life and love and the afterlife, and but it's really worth checking out. It's a really strong dramatic performance from her on top of the comedic aspects of the show. It's a much more serious project than you might have anticipated. And I highly recommend checking it out if you're a Maya Rudolph fan. And it's on Amazon Prime still to this day, I believe. And but it's like she can do something. She can be an incredible world-class comedian. She can do something like Forever and just, genuinely lean into the dramatic aspects of this world. And then she can, the headline of Prince cover band. Like, it's all like she's just one of those people where you really process how much talent she has, and it becomes genuinely annoying. I say genuinely.
I was hoping you were going to say something like that. Yeah, because it is frustrating when people hog all the talent.
Yes, I mean, I'm joking. The thing is, she's done really wonderful things with her talent, so I don't mind it. Like, go for it, girl.
Yeah, she's sharing it, right?
She's sharing it with us, and that's what matters.
Okay, Liz. So to sum it all up, if you had to put it in a nutshell why Maya Rudolph belongs in the SNL Hall of Fame, what would you say?
I mean, it just kind of comes down to the fact that we've had a really nice time here talking about how great she is, and there just aren't any compelling arguments against including her in the Hall of Fame. She's just that good. And, with her legacy with the show, her continued involvement with the show, like, I think there might be cast members who could be argued are more Hall of Fame-y than Maya Rudolph, but there's no reason to keep her out. Like, she's just that good.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you.
Oh,
nice pick.
Everyone go vote that way.
That's right. When voting opens, choose Maya Rudolph.
Vote Maya.
So what do you think? That was Liz Shannon Miller talking about Maya Rudolph. Did she sway you? Are you swayed? Have you been swayed? That's what I want to know. Was there swaying going on? Because I think she did a hell of a job. And I know for me, it's going to be tough. You only get 10 votes. You get up to 10 votes. So, you can choose 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 votes to cast, depending upon what you think the parameters are for, a Hall of Fame. You might be somebody who judges very harshly, and you want your Hall of Famers to be, no doubt about it. Or maybe you're somebody who wants to spread the love and use all 10 of your votes. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting. If you want more of Liz Shannon Miller, you can track her down. She is on Twitter, and you can track her down there at Lizlet, Lizlet. And that's pretty much all I've got for you this week. So join us again next week and every week on the SNL Hall of Fame. But for now, if you would, please turn out the lights, because the hall is closed.
Thanks for listening to the SNL Hall of Fame podcast. You can find everything you need to know about the show at snlhof.com. Don't forget to subscribe, share, rate, and review the show wherever you get your podcasts. This is Doug Denant saying, this is Doug Denant saying, see you next month in the hall.
Podcasts and such.
Get even more savings this holiday season by becoming a Milo's Rewards member. Don't miss new member deals dropping every week, like $15 off a purchase of $50 or more on select Bounty, Charmin, and Puffs paper products. Plus, get free standard shipping with Silver Key status. Just one more way Lowe's is here to help you shop, save, and enjoy the holidays. Join for free today. Milo's Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change. Exclusions and more terms apply. Visit Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details.